Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 48. Before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with um, Vanessa, Donnell, Deanna, Nicole, Kyle, Eva, Leslie, and Joey. They're all at Uptown, and Vanessa is giving a speech about the success of the clinic opening and um, thanking everybody for being there or whatever. So they've done the ribbon cutting and all of that. So this is the after party. So again, Vanessa's giving a toast. Nicole congratulate after she's done with the toast. Nicole congratulates her, and so does Donnell. Vanessa's asking Deanna how she's doing. She isn't doing too well, but she's happy that her father's name will live on in the clinic. And as Vanessa is saying, it wasn't just, she was just like, oh, thanks to Joey and thanks to Leslie and Joey. And as she's saying Joey, she's making googly eyes at Joey. And Deanna notices this. So at this moment, she's irritated. So Vanessa wants them to take a picture as a family, and right before Nicole takes the picture, Deanna says, "Oh, she pulls up a picture of Doug and she puts it, she shows it so that they take the picture and it's like a family picture with Doug or whatever." We see Leslie, she's talking. No, Eva is congratulating Leslie and Joey on working together to get the clinic open or whatever. And Joey's happy that the clinic is open because now that it's open, he ain't got to deal with Leslie no more. And Leslie is just like, oh, well, we work so well together. And she's flirting with him. And he's just like, girl, no. So Leslie gets up and she walks to, she goes to stand at the bar. She goes to stand next to Kyle because he went to the bar to get a drink for Nicole. Um, and Eva is telling Joey, she's thanking him for helping her mom, helping with the clinic. And he gives her props for what she did. And then also, um, gives her like ask how can she deal with Leslie and how does she have the people skills that Leslie doesn't, and she's just like it's from me cleaning up all her messes or whatever. So she goes to call Derek because Derek stayed behind to make sure that things were flowing and going because again the clinic opened, so they're already seeing patients or whatever. So Nicole comes over and she's talking to Joey about their double date, and she's like, she low key gives her blessing for Joey and Vanessa, but she's just like, I'm only giving you blessings until you mess up, and then it's done with. So we see, what's his lady's name? Leslie. She's flirting with Kyle, and she's just like, oh, um, when are you going to come and volunteer my clinic and all this other stuff? And he's just like, yeah, I volunteered a bunch of clinics and I go from hospital to hospital. So I don't think I'm be able to do it. Nicole comes over and Leslie makes a remark like, oh, you think I'm still your boyfriend? And Nicole asks Kyle, do I have anything to worry about you not going home with me? And he was just like, no. And he moves closer to her and Leslie gets her face cracked and she walks off. Oh yeah, Nicole had asked, she was saying that, she noticed that Joey has kept his distance from Vanessa, and he was just like, I don't want to pull focus away from Vanessa and her kids or whatever. So we see Tomas, we see Tomas and Chelsea, and they are at the club and they are waiting on Kat because Kat called them both down. So she's running late. So she shows up and she tells them that she found a place to stay and she's going to be staying with the Grands. Chelsea's happy for her. Tomas isn't. He is just like, he wants to know why she's moving in with them when she was adamant about finding her own place. She tells him it's only temporary, and he wants to know if it's temporary, then why the rush? And she's just like, so that Chelsea and Madison can have their own place, and Matt and she doesn't. She's spent enough sleepless nights because Madison is loud. I was just like, girl, what? But okay, Madison. So he still doesn't understand why she tries to make him understand, but he's just like not really listening. They're going back and forth, and he tells her that he doesn't think she can handle it. Um, let's see. Yeah, he tries to make her feel bad about moving in with them and how it's going to be hard taking care of a sick family member and all this other stuff. And she's just like, do you not think that I can handle it? And he was just like, basically, like, no, he doesn't think that she can handle it. And he's like, you're all over the place. So Chelsea leaves so that they can have a discussion or whatever. And so, they go back and forth, and she's basically telling him like, you're just worried about how this is going to affect you or whatever. He tells her, I thought you would have discussed this with me before you made a decision. And she was just like, I only came up with this decision yesterday, and you were in courts when I decided to make this decision or whatever. And he was just like, that's what couples do. They discuss things when they're going to make life changes. And from by her own admission, she didn't think of him at all. And Kat apologizes, and they kiss and make up. And yeah, I need a new man to come in for Kat. I need someone to come in and turn her head, because this man is low key abusive. He is mentally abusing her. He is emotionally abusing her. Like, he's abusing her in all ways except for physical at this point, because what do you mean she needed to run that decision by you? Y'all aren't married. You have your own place. You don't need to, because she made mention about he can come and spend the night at Anita and Vernon's. And it's just like, why would he need to spend the night there? He has his own place. If you're going to spend the night, go and spend the night at his place. Why do you care? You didn't want her to move in with you when it was no longer convenient for you. You didn't want her to. But when you needed her, that's when you wanted her to move in with you. But now that you don't need her because you got that promotion, now you don't want her to move in with you. So miss me with all of that. Like, I really need her to find a new man, because this ain't it. Because I am not going to take my foot off of this man's neck because of the fact that he is always taking up for Eva. He is never taking up for his girlfriend. But she's always apologizing to him. And it's just like, I think he's only ever apologized to her for sleeping with Eva. And if she hadn't caught them, he would have never said nothing. And I hate that for my girl. I need her to, I hate it so bad. I hate it so much. So we get back to the club. Is this a club? No, this is Uptown. So Leslie and Vanessa are trading barbs back and forth or whatever, about Joey, of course. And Eva comes over and tells them, like, no, let's not do this here. Then they give each other their props or whatever. So they give each other their props. yeah, they give each other their props on what they did for the opening and all this other stuff. We see Donnell checking on Deanna, and he's asking, is she okay? And she's just like, why is everybody asking me that? And they're just like, because like you look like you're not okay. And oh, child, I missed the whole thing. So Joey had came after Vanessa was making googly eyes at Joey. After Joey had talked to Nicole, he had came over to Vanessa, Donnell, and Deanna to say goodbye. And he had said, "Nice to meet you" to Deanna, and she ignored him. And so Vanessa was just like, "Let me walk you out." So when they go outside, she tells him that, Deanna and Donnell are going back to campus tonight. So I'll be by later. And he was just like, "No, we'll see each other tomorrow. Focus on your kids, spend time with your kids or whatever." So they kiss. And as they're kissing, Deanna sees them through the window. And it was just like, Vanessa, girl, what is we doing? What is we doing? So we get back to inside. Vanessa, not Vanessa, but Nicole is Nicole and Kyle are talking to Donnell and Deanna, and they talk about Samantha and how was her idea. So yes, Nicole knows and didn't say diddly squat about the fact that this lady done took over her whatever. He's he's they talk about that. Nicole is just like, she's glad that Samantha was able to make it to the opening, but she had to go home because she's trying to get into a good school and test wait for nobody or whatever. So she thanks Donnell for stepping in as the, what is it called, as her child, her chaperone. Is it her chaperone? No, not her chaperone, but her date or whatever. So as they're talking, Kyle and Donnell start to talk. Nicole pulls Deanna to the side, and she checks on her. She's asking her, how she's doing, how she's feeling coming back. Is she still seeing her therapist? Is everything going okay? Deanna's telling her, yeah, everything's okay. Blah, 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 blah. That's when Donnell goes to check on her, and she wants to know, why does everybody keep checking on me? And she's just like, I'm good. And are you? And she's asking him, are you good with everything that's going on? And he's just like, yeah. So that's when we see Vanessa and Leslie going at each other. Then Eva stopping them. Then they give their props, and then Deanna comes over and she lights Vanessa up. Child, I was just like, finally. She tells her, like, she's just like, when were you gonna tell, like, how long have you been sleeping with him? And no man is opening up their wallet that much to pay for something like that unless they sleeping with you. She calls her pathetic and selfish, and she can't be without a man, and wants to know where she was when Doug needed her, and how could she choose Joey when it was his casino. Casino is what the last place that her daddy was seen alive. Donnell is trying to get her to stop, and she is just lighting up her mama, and Vanessa's just sitting there crying, and she's just like, wait, no, I want to, let's talk, all this other stuff. And it's just like, I'm sorry, my voice going in and out. Donnell was just like, tells her to stop, like, tells her to stop, and Deanna just keep going. She wants to know how long she's been seeing Joey. And no, she tells her, she was just like, as long as you're seeing Joey, I ain't never coming back home. And she walks out. Donnell follows her. He tells Vanessa, I'll talk to her. So he follows her out. Before Deanna leaves, she asks Vanessa, do you really know him? So Vanessa's crying. Nicole and Kyle give her a pep talk, and give her words of encouragement or whatever. So she leaves. Vanessa leaves, and we see what's their name? Donnell and Deanna, they're at OG's, and Deanna wants to know how long he's known. He tells her, and she wants to know why you ain't tell me. And he was just like, because this is where you act. He tells her that she just keeps going. He was just like, damn, be quiet, like shut up. And he tells her, I've been stepping up, taking care of mom. And they all lost Doug, and she acts like if they aren't grieving him the way that she is and they're doing it wrong. He doesn't like that. At first he didn't like that that her mom was seeing Joey. That's not the guy that he would want for her mom, but that's the guy that their mom chose. So they just need to let it be. She he tells She says, she wants to honor Doug, and she doesn't want to act like he doesn't exist. And he tells her, how they're gonna honor Doug or whatever. So we see um what's this girl, not Vanessa, Nicole and Kyle, that they're at her place, and they're talking about, the whole Deanna and Vanessa of it all. And Vanessa, they talk about his kids and when he lost his wife or whatever. Nicole says she hopes that things get better before they get worse for Deanna, Deanna, Donnell, and Vanessa. Then they start to kiss, and then they go up to her room to do or whatever. We see Eva and Leslie. They talk about, Deanna and Vanessa, and Leslie says, like, she low key feels bad for Vanessa. Eva starts talking about all the news and the responses that that the clinic is getting, and Leslie wants to know what else are they talking about, and Eva's just like, that's it. But Leslie wants to know if they're talking about her, because of course it's all about her. She did all of this just so she could get accolades, and she basically says that. She says, she doesn't remember anything. She was nervous that she was going to come off as an imposter, and it's her time to prove that she's worthy of respect as much as any of the Fairmont Crest people. And it's just like, girl, you don't deserve respect. I'm sorry, you don't. With everything that you've been doing, like, no, no. You got to earn it, and you ain't earned it. Just because you throwing money at it doesn't mean you deserve respect or you've earned respect. You're getting false respect, and it's gonna falter very, very soon and very, very fast, because it's not earned and deserved. But whatever. So Eva gives Leslie her props. She lets her listen to the speech because Eva recorded it, and they are watching it back, and then they hug each other, and they're proud of each other, and they're crying, whatever. We see Vanessa. She comes to Joey because, of course, she doesn't go look for her daughter. She goes and looks for Joey. She tells Joey what happened, and Joey's just like, "Oh, do you want me to send somebody out to go look for her?" Even Joey is worried about her daughter, but she's not. But I digress. So she tells him, Deanna told me, she said something to me, and I realized that if Deanna or Donnell were to ask me where you're from or anything about your childhood or how you grew up, I wouldn't know anything because I don't know anything about you. And if we're going to make this work, then I need to know everything about you. And yeah, that's how that was it. So this was a good episode because, man, Deanna came in. She came in on one, and I loved it. She was on 10, and she told Vanessa about herself, and this is something that Vanessa needed to hear, but Vanessa didn't hear it at all, because again, instead of going for her daughter, she went to go find out everything she needs to know about Joey. Yeah. I don't know who's the worst mother, Nicole or Vanessa. I feel like Vanessa is in first place and Nicole is in second place. Yeah. Or child, yeah, I don't even know. Because I can't even say that Leslie is a terrible mom because she stick up for her daughter. She's a terrible person, not a terrible mom. But yeah, again, that was the episode. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.